So now we will understand how we can display the specific rows and columns in the Pandas data frame over here. So guys, let us move to VS Code in this case, and simply I'm going to create a new file in this case, and then we will say display data.py, that is the Python file. Now guys, what we will do is, let me just copy the data set that we had used in the previous example over here. We are going to make use of the same data set once again. So we will import the pandas as pd over here, and then we have the data set. So as you can see, this is the dictionary having 3 columns, that is name, age and the gender, and then we have their values as well. Now how do we create a data frame out of this data set? Simply we make use of the pandas, that is pd over here, followed by dot, and then we have the data frame, which is going to take the parameter that will be data set in this case, which is having the data over here as a dictionary. Now guys, we are going to create a variable, that is df, which stands for data frame, and assign this data frame to it. Now simply let me just print the entire data frame over here. So simply we make use of the df in this case in order to print the entire data frame. So as you can see, the entire data frame is now getting printed over here. Now guys, there are few functions that you can use in order to display the specific rows and the columns. So instead of printing the entire data frame, as you can see, we have 5 rows over here and the 3 columns, and in case if you only want a specific row to be displayed, so for example, if you only want the first row having the name John over here to be displayed, then how you can select this particular specific row? So we can make use of the LOC or the iloc function in order to display the rows and the columns. So guys, let us understand this with the help of examples in this case. So simply we make use of the data frame, that is df, followed by dot, and then we have the LOC function over here. It accesses a group of rows and columns by labels or the boolean array in this case. So instead of having the open and close parentheses, we have to make use of the open and close square brackets this time. So guys, this is very important. Instead of having the open and close parentheses, you have to make use of the open and close square brackets over here, and it is going to take 2 parameters once again, just like how you access the list or the 2-dimensional array that we had already seen previously in our NumPy playlist. You can make use of the 2 arguments over here. The first argument will represent the row number and the second argument will represent the column. So guys, over here, let us say you want to access this 0th index over here. So the first argument will be 0, since it is named as 0 over here, and then followed by comma, and then we have to provide the column name over here. So guys, instead of providing the number, that is 0, 1 and then 2, we have to make use of the name in this case. So you can simply provide a single or the double quote, and then you can provide the name. So guys, this is one example, first row over here and the specific element, that is John, by providing the name column over here, and then we can store it inside another data frame. So let us provide df1 in this case, which we are going to print over here. So guys, this particular thing is going to return another data frame, and then you can make use of that data frame for data analysis. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So now as you can see, we are able to get the name, that is John over here, since we are referring to the 0th index and the name column over here. What if we want the entire row, that is John, along with the age and the gender of that particular name as well? Simply I have to remove this column and only provide the row number, that is 0. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So now as you can see, we are getting name as John, then we have age, it is equal to 21, and gender as well, it is equal to male over here. Now guys, apart from this, let us say we want the first 3 rows of this particular data frame. So we want the names, that is John, Peter and Smith. So what we can do is, we can provide 0 followed by colon, and then we can provide 2 over here. Let us see what will be the output. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, so as you can see, we are getting 0, 1 and 2 indices. We are getting the name, that is John, Peter and Smith as well. That is the first 3 rows. So guys, this is the way that you can display the first 3 rows from the data frame. If you want the last 3 rows, then simply we can provide -1 over here, that is the starting number, and then we have -2 and -3. So simply we will provide -3 over here. Let us see what will be the output. So it is not providing us the required output over here, empty data frame. So guys, simply what we can do is we can simply provide the number 2, and then we have 3 and then 4. So this is similar to the slice function that we use in the Python programming language. So the rows that are numbered between 2 to 4 should be displayed over here. So when we run this code once again, as you can see, the rows between 2 to 4 are getting displayed this time. And then apart from this, if you want the specific column to be displayed, simply you can provide that column, that is name over here. And then when we run this code once again, you can see that only the names are getting displayed over here. And if you also want the age as well, then what we can do is we can provide it inside another list over here. So after name, we will provide age as well. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here, so we are getting the name and age of the rows that are defined between 2 to 4. So 2, 3, 4. So these names are getting displayed along with their age also. Now guys, apart from this, you can also make use of the indices by using the iloc function. So the only difference between loc and the iloc function is that when we make use of the iloc, you will be providing the numbers over here for both, that is rows and the columns as well. So guys, over here, since we have provided the numbers for the rows, and then for the columns also we have to provide the numbers. So let us say we provide 0 and then colon, we provide 1 over here. Before this, let us only provide 0, which is going to refer to the name column over here. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal, you can see that we are getting Smith and Ronaldo. And another difference is that this particular ending number is not included when you make use of the iloc function. In the loc function, we had seen that the 4th index was included. So when we run this code once again with loc, we are getting the error, key error, it is equal to 0. That's because with loc we have to make use of the labels that are provided, which means we have to provide the column names over here, as well as since we have not provided the labels for the indices, we can make use of the index number over here. But with loc, if you have provided the index parameter while using the data frame class, then you have to make use of those labels while representing the rows as well. So guys, over here we provide the name, and then you can see that all the rows, that is 2, 3, 4 are included when you provide loc. But when you provide iloc, only 2 and 3 rows will be included. And then over here for the column, we have to make use of the numbers, that is 0, 1 or 2. So when we save this file now and try running this code once again over here, we are getting 2 and 3, and the upper number is not included over here as the index. Now apart from this, we can also make use of the colon over here once again, and then we can make use of the upper number, that is 2. So 0 and 1 columns should be displayed over here. Remember that the rows and the columns are separated by this particular comma in between, and then these numbers can be provided just like how we provide the numbers with the slice function. So when we run this code once again over here, you can see that we are getting 2 and 3 as the rows for this one, and 0 and 1 as the column, that is name and age over here. So guys, with iloc, you can make use of the indices, since I stands for index over here, which means the numbers that you can use in order to access the data frame as far as the rows and columns are concerned. Now guys, apart from this, if you want to access the specific value within the data frame, then you can make use of the at and the iat functions over here. So this is more optimized as far as the performance is concerned if you want to access the specific element. So let us say we want to access the Smith element over here, that is the name of the Smith. So it is occurring at which position. Let us understand that as well. So simply let me just comment out this line of code and let us print the entire data frame first of all. So you can see that Smith is present at the second row over here having the 2 index. So let me just provide another statement, that is df2 over here, it is equal to df followed by dot, and this time we will provide at in this case, and once again we make use of the open and close square brackets over here, and then we make use of the index number, that is 2 this time, followed by comma and the name, that is the column over here. So simply we provide name as the column. So let me just run this code once again over here on the terminal. So still we are getting the entire data frame. That's because we are providing the original data frame over here. We have to provide the data frame 2 this time. So let me just run this code once again over here after saving. So as you can see, we are getting the name, that is Smith over here. Now guys, can we access multiple columns by using at function over here? No, we cannot do that. So let us try that also. So let me just provide the open and close square brackets over here, and also I want to access the age of this particular person. So when we run this code once again, so as you can see, it is the unhashable type list. So this is the error that we are getting. We have to only access a specific element from a data frame while we are using the at or the IAT function over here. So this is the way that we have to access the age of this person by only providing one column name over here. So when we run this code once again, you can see the age, that is 20 for this particular person, that is Smith over here. Now guys, apart from this, if you want to make use of the indices as well, so simply instead of at we have to make use of the IAT function over here, and this time we will make use of the 4th row over here, that is the last name, that is Messi in this case, and let us access the age. So the age is at the first index over here, name is at the 0th index, and the age is at the first index. So instead of providing the column name, we have to provide the number, that is 1 over here. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So the age is 32, that is what we are getting for the name, that is Smith over here. So guys, two important things: if you want to access a specific data set within a data frame, that is rows and the columns, then you can simply use the LOC or the iloc property over here. Whereas if you want to access the specific element within the data frame and it is optimized for performance as well, then you can simply use the AT or the IAT property in this case, so that you can access the specific element within the data frame. So one important change over here is this is not a function, but these are referred to as properties over here, with which we have to provide the rows and the columns indices or the labels. So guys, please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to see how we can read the CSV file in Pandas. So stay tuned.